Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I've got part 2 of my Arsenal series videos. I'm standing in front of the old Highbury Stadium. So guys, on the last video we did the Emirates Stadium tour and the museum tour. On this video we're going to explore the old history of Arsenal, what was the old Highbury Stadium. So let's take you on a little history tour. In the meantime, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Let's go. Now, as some of you know, Arsenal was founded in 1886 across the river in Woolwich and was originally called Dial Square. They played at a ground called the Manor Ground until about 1913 when the club decided to move from South London. Why did they need to move? The idea to move came from this man here, Sir Henry Norris, who was the club's chairman at the time. The main reason was that the club was facing financial difficulties for a variety of reasons. One of them was the fact that the club was struggling to attract good attendances, attracting crowds of around 11,000 compared to Chelsea's crowds of around 28,000. Woolwich as an area was notoriously very hard to get to via public transport, and Norris believed that this is the reason why the club struggled to attract the right amount of people. The club had also been relegated the year prior, and this severely affected the club's finances. And also, the stadium, the Manor Ground, was actually bombed in the suffragettes movement, costing the club a hefty amount to actually fix. Eventually, Arsenal moved across the river to Highbury in North London. So, between 1913 and 2006, this was the home of Arsenal, and the club decided in the year, I think it was the year 2000, that they had to move to a bigger venue and leave this place. It's now been transformed into, well, what they call luxury flats, but there's some interesting things that I want to show you in and around the site. So guys, this whole section here was known as the East Stand, and the East Stand essentially was where pretty much the dressing rooms and the tunnel was. So the door there is where the players used to enter the stadium, and the East Stand has a grade 2 listed. It's grade 2 listed, so essentially it means that they maintain the actual structure of it. At the top of one of these windows was where the Arsenal dressing room was. The players used to be able to actually look out there and see the fans. Famously in 1998, after they won the title, Ian Wright stood up on the podium or on the bench in his underwear to celebrate with the fans down below. So the players' coaches used to pull up here, and the players would walk into this section here, into the famous marble halls of Highbury. So let's go inside and have a look and see what's inside. So behind me you've got the famous bust of Herbert Chapman, famous Arsenal manager from 1925 to 1934, and led the club through their first great period of success in the 1930s. The cool thing about this room is that everything is the exact same from when this was part of the original stadium. So the actual facade and everything is the exact same. On the floor as well, you'll see something really, really cool. So on the floor you've got the original Arsenal cannon, basically. And the reason why Herbert Chapman's bust is there is because when the players used to enter the stadium through here, the first thing they'd see is obviously Herbert himself. I'm guessing the players would go through there and then head down to the dressing rooms and so on. So you can see there's stairs there as well. But these marble halls, everything you see in here is grade 2 listed. Hence the reason why it's pretty much remained the same, especially Herbert's bust. Now, a lot of the famous stadiums that we have here in England were all designed by a man by the name of Archibald Lee, I believe his name was. He designed Highbury, he designed, I think, Goodison Park, and he designed a couple of other stadiums as well that became very, very famous. So here you've got a layout of the block of flats and what the stadium was like. So pretty much the tube station, Arsenal station, is there, and fans would literally enter either from here or from here. You've got Highbury Hill, and then you've got where the pitch essentially was as well. So you've got the north stand, which is what is the north bank. You've got the south stand, which is the clock end, at the famous clock end, and you've got the east stand where we just showed just now, and the west stand as well also. So guys, as you can see, that's where the pitch used to be, as you can see, and the building over there would have been the north bank, that would have been the west stand, that would have been the east stand, and behind me would have been the clock end. So as you can see, the pitch would have been somewhere around there. It looks absolutely lovely now. They've got like a garden and stuff, but this is exactly where it would be. So here you've got what was the west stand, and I love how they've kept the red and white like pillars basically. That would have been the end of the stand, so the fans would have sat there, and as you can see, they've kept pretty much the same structure. And as you can see, it's just fantastic. It's just absolutely lovely, wonderful around here. This here would have been the entrance to the west stand. So you can see you were here. Now as you can see there, you can see the Arsenal tube station, as you can see. So that would have been the entrance here that takes you into the west stand. So as you can see guys as well, the red facade was still kept on the building. So they still kept the historical aspect of it also, which I think is really, really cool. So the question is, if Highbury was so great, why did Arsenal move from here? Well, two reasons. First of all, after the Hillsborough disaster in 1990, I think it was, the Taylor report was published, and all stadiums across England had to be all seated. Now Highbury, when it became all seated, was only about 38,000 people. So compared to the likes of Old Trafford, the San Siro, the Bernabeu, and so on and so forth, 38,000 fans was not a lot. So essentially the club had a choice. Do they try and redevelop Highbury, this place, or do they move to the Emirates or to a new spot? So the plan was to redevelop this place basically, but the problem was that the area is surrounded by housing, so it was very, very difficult, and the council turned it down. Hence why they had to move from this iconic location. So guys, I've come into the middle of what was the stadium, the flats basically, and you get a good panoramic view of pretty much the whole well, the apartments, or what the stadium would have been. It's pretty much, you know, obviously 4 square stands basically, and I'm impressed by the fact that they've kept the actual structure. So yeah, you've got the north, what was the north bank, you've got the west stand there, you've got what was the clock end, and finally you've got the east stand. But I'm trying to find if there is a center spot of where kickoff was. I'm trying to find a center spot. I don't know if it's round here. I'm trying to find it, as you can see. So guys, as you can see, it's just a well-kept grass area. As you can see, with lots of families and stuff. You can see the actual structure of the old stand still there, the red and white, and nothing much has really changed. This looks like some kind of tank basically. I'm not sure what that is. One thing I love as well guys is they've named all the apartment blocks after the stand. So as the stands still remain in their structure, they've renamed the blocks after them, which is really cool. So early in the video, I mentioned one of the reasons why they moved from South London to North London was to have a local tube station next to it. And this one is the one. Arsenal tube station, sorry. So originally when the club moved to Highbury, the station was called Gillespie Road, but the club was renamed to the station was renamed to Arsenal, I think in the 1930s, making it the only football club in London with a train station named after it. The rumours is that the club believed that by having a tube station near to the stadium, it would allow the club to attract a lot more fans to the stadium and give them more interest in the club. And to be fair, this station here is an iconic piece of Arsenal Football Club. When fans come out of this stadium on a match day, the atmosphere around here and the buzz is absolutely amazing. You see people selling hot dogs and replica shirts and so on and so forth. And all these streets around Highbury and the Emirates are like that on a match day. You can still see the writing there that says Arsenal Football Club, as you can see as you enter the block. So you can see there the writing there. Then you walk down through here, and that takes you into, well, the luxury apartments as they call them. And here you've got a tribute to Constable Alex Morgan, who was a lifelong Arsenal fan and a member of the Met Police. And this plaque has been unveiled in Alex's memory. So behind me is where the North Bank would have been, the most noisy section of the stadium. And there's a cool picture that I'm going to show you on the screen right now of what it looked like on a match day. You could stand where I'm standing now and see the fans in the stands basically. So it's a really, really cool thing to see. there'll always be a big debate as to whether Arsenal made the right move to go to the Emirates from Highbury. Financially, you could say yes, it was obviously more fans in the stadium, more revenue, but on the field, some people tend to think the other way. Obviously, the club hasn't managed to win the title since going to the Emirates, but obviously we are where we are now. But this place behind me will remain in Arsenal's history forever. So overall, you could say it was a good move. In terms of these stadiums now, there's quite a controversial, not a controversial debate, but people are saying they prefer old school stadiums like that, you know, historic, rather than these soulless bowls that we have nowadays. But unfortunately, football moves on and time moves on as well. So overall, would I say that the Emirates was a good move for Arsenal? As an Arsenal fan, one way yes, one way no. That is it, guys, for this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. A short video today, but really cool to learn about a piece of history, something that was a massive part of my childhood, which was Highbury Stadium. So I'll see you on the next video.